camera action, let's shine tonight. Big dreams, big names, and the vibe feels right. We talk passion, purpose, power, and goals. Stories you ain't never been told. It's the Demia Avery Show.
Hey, everybody, this is Demia Avery of the Demia Avery Show. And you guys, I have a special guest in the house. I'm so excited. I talked to him a little bit before we actually started recording, and I was trying not to scream, because this is like my teenage childhood thing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to introduce him to you guys. And I love introductions and I love giving people their flowers. So I'm going to make sure that I say this right. All right, my guest. Today on the Demia Avery Show, we're talking classic R&B legacy, timeless vocals, and music that defined an era and still hits just as hard today. My guest is part of a group that helped shape the sound of the 80s and 90s, giving us songs that became soundtracks to love, heartbreak, and grown folk moments. From unforgettable slow jams to records that still light up dance floors, his voice is instantly recognizable and undeniable. And now, decades later, he's still creating, still evolving, and back with a brand new single titled "They Won't Leave Me Alone," proving that real R&B never went out of style. Please welcome the legendary voice of Ready for the World, Melvin Riley. Welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me. And that's a heck of an introduction. I thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Now, first things first, how are you feeling? Like, you've been around with us for so long and, in different times. How are you feeling in this season of your life and your music and stuff like that?
Honestly, I am having a ball. I am doing what I enjoy doing, which is making music and making music that the world is still listening to. And in today's climate of music, to be out and still doing it at the level, hey, I'm just so blessed and thankful, and I'm having a ball.
Yeah. Now, you've written songs that people made babies to, they cried to, they fell in love to. How does it feel knowing that your voice lives inside people's biggest life moments? Because my teenage years, honey, your band was the ish. I'm telling you. So how does it feel to get that from your fans?
That is a huge reward that you get. This music thing, when you're an artist and you're writing music, you're writing songs, you're writing them because it's blowing you away. But you don't know if it's going to blow everybody else away. You feel like it's going to, because you're blown away, and God gives you this gift of knowing, I call it, and that swag that you have. You're like, well, we're going to do what we do because I love what I'm doing. And the world has accepted it. The world has fallen in love with that sound, that my voice, the music. I am elated. And it feels really good to know that I am a part of this music culture, that'll live on forever. So I'm very thankful.
Now, I'm curious, when fans come up to you now, today, what song do they usually mention the most? And does it ever surprise you about some of the songs?
It's a lot of favorites. You got In My Room, Digital Display, Deep Inside Your Love, which is my daughter's favorite. Love You Down, Oh Sheila. So it's like people pick songs that maybe weren't released as a single, like Don't You Want It With Me, Baby
Slide Over.
Love You. Slide Over is a huge one that people can bring up. So it's a plethora that you would think everybody would just be talking about Love You Down, Oh Sheila, but no. They talk about those, but they come in with all the songs that were even B-sides. And when you have people talking about your B-sides, you did something right. You did something.
Right. That is right. Now, be honest, what song of yours hits different now than it did when you first recorded it?
Tonight.
Really? Why so?
At the time I wrote Tonight, I was just in a zone. And as an older person and I'm listening to the lyrics, it's like, woo, I see why I got banned on a few stations. And we did, when we first came out with Tonight, we got banned on a few stations, but I kind of get it now, being older and listening to my lyrics. I'm like, ooh, boy, you went there. So that does different.
Yeah. Now, now that you said that, I'm remembering the words, and yeah. But what's like one of the most, I guess, unexpected places you've ever heard one of your songs played?
Wow. People have called me. My best friend, childhood best friend, just called me the other day. He lives in Missouri,
Uh,
and yes, he was at some real kind of cowboyish type establishment. And he called me and said, "Dude, I just heard Sheila in this. I think he was either in a shoe store or
yeah,
something. It was on a radio station." And he just said, "I didn't expect to hear Sheila in the spot that where I was." But I've heard it in different places. I guess I expected to hear it everywhere, even if
yeah,
I'm in London, if I'm in um anywhere, because the songs really hit big. So I'm
yeah,
not that surprised. But when he told me about the country store the other day, I
yeah.
was like, good.
Now, no, so what if somebody approached you and wanted to do something, court, kind of collab like with the country version of that? Would you be interested in doing that?
Absolutely. I grew up listening to blues. So
Okay.
I'm familiar with country music as well. So it's never been a thing where that was so foreign to me. But no, I would definitely love to do something like that.
That's interesting. Now, if today's R&B artist could borrow one thing from the Ready for the World era, what would you want that to be?
The music, borrow not the curls.
What?
But
I mean, my girl, I don't know what you're talking about.
right. But and they have done this. They borrowed the sound of "Ready for the World" of Melvin Riley, the slow song vibe that I created back in the '80s, and it
Mhm.
still continues to be moving on with different artists today. The producers and writers, they like, hey, I want to get that Melvin Riley, vibe on blah blah blah. And I've had producers and artists tell me that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the main things to make an imprint in the music industry is huge.
The music and the musicianship, and also what I remember performing, because you guys were performers as well. As
Yeah.
long, so that's one of the things I can clearly say that I miss that whole band.
Right.
Everybody has the whole, you know what I mean, the whole performance thing. So I think that's cool. Now, what does a grown man R&B mean to you in 2026, and how is it different from when you first started?
Big time difference because, when we first started, you're singing in a way to where you're competing with the Michael Jacksons, the
Hmm.
Prince, Lionel Richies, your writing back in the day was so challenging to be at the top of the chart, and you had to bring the best out of what you are as a writer, singer, and producer.
Hmm.
Today, as I'm hearing, and I do love a lot of the artists today in music, I think the difference now is I don't know if they're putting as much work in as we did in the 80s. A lot of 80 artists
Right.
in the studio and making some real hits and making some memorable classic hits.
Yeah.
Uh, and a lot of that, I don't, a lot of that comes from upbringing. We grew up with Motown and we grew up with that real soul food.
Right.
And when you know what real soul food tastes like, then you still tasting for that taste. And I
Right.
think that's one of the big differences. And maybe some of the younger guys, which is a lot of talent out there, don't get me wrong. But I think that would be about the biggest difference is putting that work in and coming up with classic hits that's going to last forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, why don't we talked a little bit about Ready for the World back then, but I want to know about Melvin Riley now. Tell me about your single, They Won't Leave Me Alone. It feels playful but real. Did you know it would make people smile as soon as they heard the title? Because I was like, okay, interesting, but yeah. So tell me about it.
I just wanted to flip it a little bit. Today a lot of guys we're begging, we telling women this, we telling that, but nobody's telling the other side that wait a minute, it ain't always the guy's fault. They call us we wrong or we dogs or we ain't no good. Listen, it ain't always our fault because women chase too.
Yeah,
And I
that's
just
right.
wanted to bring out that aspect in, hey, these beautiful women sometimes it's hard on the guy because we're not
Mhm.
trying to be that cold-blooded, but at some point the song speaks for itself. Like, hey, I'm trying to be good to you, but it's hard out here. And
Yeah,
guys get it. Guys get it, and women do too. It's just nobody's really hitting on that point that,
that's
hey,
right.
oh, yes, yes. And I like to hit on points where people may not have thought of.
That's obvious with your hits in the past, and now you still bringing that same flavor. So we love it. Now, has there ever been any song that you've written that you were actually scared to release because it might have been too honest?
Mm, no, because I wanted, I've never really felt like I didn't want it released. Tonight, like I said, we really got some flack at the beginning, but other than that, I hadn't had any issues with wanting to release anything. But the new one after They Won't Leave Me Alone, you will know what I'm
Uh,
talking about. And that might be the new single I have
uh,
after They Won't Leave Me Alone. I'm a little, yeah,
okay.
yeah. So you're mentioning stuff that it hadn't happened quite yet, but the new
Yeah.
single after this one is going to be a little out there.
Now, so okay, since Ready for the World, have I know you've constantly stayed out there. Has it ever been a point that you like had took a break and then came back, or how did that work for you, or did you just constantly just kept going and keep grinding and doing your own thing?
Yeah, I've always kept recording. With this music industry, it takes promotion and marketing
Hmm.
and from the major labels. And after a while, if the major label and that machine is not behind you, sometimes the artists don't hear some of your product. So you may put it out independently. But as
Right.
long as you keep on writing, keep doing your thing, you keep your swag and you keep your energy going. So I wouldn't say I've ever taken really a break from the writing, but I have taken a break from the road.
Mm.
Years and years of being on the road, you take a break from that. And now the older artists, the 80s and the 90s and early 2000 artists are coming back and
Yeah.
touring and putting out records. Now it kind of like I never stopped. So I'm right in line with what's going on because I've never stopped writing music.
That's good though, because that means, a lot of times I know a lot of artists, like you said, that were good like in the 80s, 90s, and they take that long break. And then when they come back out, everything is rusty. The songwriting, they're feeling rusty, the performance, they're still feeling rusty, the whole mental process of doing the whole thing all over. Now you have, before you just had you, yourself, your band or whatever, and you out there doing your thing. Now you got kids and bills and all these other things
Yeah.
that you didn't have before. So things are different. Did you feel like any kind
True.
of, any different kind of pressures now than you did back in that day?
No, actually, it's quite the opposite. There's really no pressure because, I'm older, I'm
Mm-hmm.
settled, and I don't have to do music to make money because God has blessed me that it flows from the production and the writing. So
Mm-hmm.
their pressure is just sit back and record and let it do what it do. There's
Yeah,
nothing to prove at this point, but to make sure that you're putting out the best that you can put out there because people deserve to hear the jam. You want
yeah,
people to be, back in the day, and good music is like food. You want to taste something great. Well, the same, if
yeah,
you're a chef, you want to sit back and watch the people enjoy your food. With
yeah.
music, you want to sit back and be like, you know what? I put some great music out there that people can exercise or ride to or drive, whatever you want to do to that music.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to do. Yeah, I want
I
that
love
music out there that you can enjoy it.
I love
Yeah.
it. Now, when you're not making music, what's something you love to do that fans would never guess? I love asking this question because
Yeah.
people don't, I get so many different answers that I never expected to get. So tell me about Melvin, Mr. Riley, outside of this music thing.
I like to chill. I am a chick. I am a homebody. I really don't even leave the house unless I'm going fishing,
Uh-huh.
golfing,
Mhm.
bowling, or hanging with the fam. Like we got an event, but most of the time I'm a introvert, big time.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I'm not always out and about because I like my little peace in my own little world. And
Mm.
yeah, I'm kind of an introvert. I don't really get out a lot.
Okay. I
Yeah.
love that. And they expect lead singers and things like that to have this
Oh yeah,
pop off life. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, I'm more into the chill, sit back, have a cigar, and have some good conversation type of guy.
I love that. I love that. Now, this is a part of the interview. that I like to have a little bit of fun, and I hope you don't mind.
all good.
It's like an old school trivia, okay? So I'm a big fan of old school music. That's my thing. And old school could mean a couple different things. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sing a little bit of a lyric, and you can either say it or you can sing the rest of the lyric to the song. Now, this is gonna be songs from either the 80s or the 90s. And I know that you know them, but I'm gonna have to take your card though, Melvin, if you don't know a couple of
You know
these.
what? I'm gonna tell you before you get started. I might not remember the words to my own song, so so you can try it. But well, let's see. Let's see.
Okay, all right. The first one. Let me get my voice together. Now, you guys, I do have a cold, so if I don't sound good, just blame it on the the Robitussin.
I heard that. Blame it on the road, but Tessin, I got
Okay. Here I lay all alone, tossing, turning, longing for some of your. Okay, Melvin.
Is it tender love?
Yes,
Oh, okay. Was I right?
you were right.
I don't want to get in trouble because they're my homies right there. Okay, so I just want to make sure I got that right.
Okay, now this one is from the 80s. Let me get a good key. Um, Silhouette of a perfect frame, shadows of your smile will always remain. Heaven's love, I forgot the word, soon fades away. We grow up, I wanna know. Okay, it's the chorus after this. If I sing it, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh.
I know it. Isn't that a
I'll do the second
long
verse.
as I live? Long as I live.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? Okay. Yeah, got you.
Long as I live. All right. We got two more.
Okay.
um, okay. I'm gonna take your card though, Melvin.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know what to say, my baby.
No, you gotta keep going.
Everything was fine. Mm-mm-mm. You say you got to get away to find yourself. Yeah. I'll get to the chorus. Goodbye.
Yeah. Okay.
With
I don't
you
know.
and that's it. But your love is good through all the test of time. Yes, it has. If you're planning to leave me behind. And then it goes, let me put one more thing on your. If you ever need me, baby, just send for me. Ah!
That was something like telephone call, baby, something like that. But okay.
Yeah, Atlantic Star, Atlantic
The
Star.
latter star. Uh-oh. I'm gonna
Okay,
get in trouble with somebody and be like, dude, you don't remember my song? Like,
all right, here's the last one. It never really mattered too much to me that you were damn too damn low for me. Now I know you got to know this, Melvin.
I do know that one. I think so.
Okay.
All it really mattered was you were my girl. And baby, that's all that mattered to me. Oh, babe, let me love you down. Oh, there we go.
Yes, I
Ah.
so much. I just love that whole era. That's all me, and I thank you so much for that. And before we go, please let everybody know where they can get the music, where they can go to find out more about you, what you're doing now. Just shout it out.
Listen, everybody. First, I want to thank everybody for the love, for over 40 years, you know, and I'm blessed to be able to give you guys music continuously. And I just want to thank you guys, you know, and the new music is going to be the new era for Melvin Riley. And I want you to come check me out at IamMelvinRiley.com. That's the website. Go to my Facebook, which is Melvin Riley. They got a lot of fake ones out there, but the one that's me, I guess I'm on stage and it says Melvin Riley.
Mm.
But it's a few pages up. I don't even know who that is. But anyway,
Okay.
Facebook page Melvin Riley. My Instagram is I am Melvin Riley as well. So check me out on Instagram, Facebook. You can get the updates and hear the new music before it really comes out. But right now we got the new single called "They Won't Leave Me Alone," which is blowing up. I'm so glad that everybody's feeling it. And hey, it's Melvin Riley. They won't leave me alone, and
All
continue
right.
his music from here on.
Awesome, awesome. So look, everybody out there, make sure you go cop that. Make sure you go to his website. Don't leave him alone. Make sure you,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't leave me
buy his
alone. Keep
music.
it sweet.
All right, guys. Thank you, Melvin, for joining in today. And we are out of here. Talk to you guys later.
Thank you all. Peace.